Before we start, mag-pray isa ta. We'll lead the prayer. Kinsay mag-volunteer or manawag na lang ko. Kaning si Hafiza Najma Interino. Kindly please lead the prayer.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Ar-Rahmanirrahim. Malik Yawmiddin. Yaka nabudu wa yaka nasta'in. Ihdinas siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladina an'amta alaihim ghairil maghdubi alaihim waladdallin. Amin.
Good morning, class.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, ma'am.
Kira ba mo? Nakamata na ba mo tanan? Basin na ay natugpad diha. So, madunggan ra ko.
Yes, ma'am. Madunggan na po.
Okay, so last meeting kay we discussed about weathering. Unsa ganito ang two types sa weathering? Can someone give me the two types of weathering?
Mechanical and chemical weathering.
So what is physical weathering? Anybody? Kinsa tong nag-answer?
Physical weathering, ma'am, is just a breakdown of rocks, ma'am. It only changes the size, shape, or texture of the rock, ma'am.
Chemical weathering. Hello?
Ang chemical weathering, ma'am, kinaa siya chemical transformation nga nahitabo sa rock, ma'am. Dayon, ma-change yun iyang chemical composition and ma-form into new compounds, ma'am.
Okay, so thank you for that, Zarlo. So for today's discussion, we are going to discuss about the soil. We are going to discuss about the products of weathering and erosion. So the products of weathering and erosion are the unconsolidated materials that we find around us on slopes, beneath, beside, and on top of glaciers, in stream valleys, on beaches, and in deserts. So we have these sediment types of product of weathering. So we have for the sediment types, we have the solids, colloids, and the ionic solution. So solid sediments is a clastic sediment such as clays, pebbles, and silt. So sediment can consist of rocks and minerals as well as the remains of plants and animals, and it can be as small as a grain of sand or as large as a boulder. Then we have the colloids, which is the suspended clay-sized particles. So ang colloids, they are very small. It is less than 2 diameters, and colloids can be either minerals or clay or organic, which is humus and crystalline or amorphous. So soil colloids are the finer size fraction of the soil. And we have the ionic solution. So ionic solution is a dissolved compounds in water. Can someone give me the example of ionic solution from your chemistry class? Any idea? Hello.
One, ma'am. Salt dissolved in water, ma'am.
Okay, very good. Salt and with water is I salt can dissolve in water. So salt is a ionic solution. And now we have the soil types products of weathering. We have the residual, which is a solid form from the weathering of local bedrock and have the same mineral composition. And the transported soil that has been moved and the sediments are not of the same composition as the parent rock. So see, residual soils are formed from the weathering of rocks and practically remain at the location of origin with little or no movement of individual soil particles. Meaning, kung asa siya na form, dito ra siya na nagstay. So on the other hand, transported soils are those that have formed at one location, uh, like residual soils, but are transported and deposited at another location. So please note that transported soil is soil that is developed on transported material. So dili kani ang transported soil nga nag na transport siya, let's say for example na transport because of wind, like dust. So transported soil is soil that is developed on transported materials. So we go to the soil and the soil profile. Wait lang class ha. Sorry for that. Amang kuan ako background sound. So we go to the soil and the soil profile. Soil properties may vary depending on how long the soil has been weathered. So in soil profile, we have the soil horizon, which is we have the three horizon, which is the horizon A, horizon B, and horizon C. Horizon A is the top layer rich on organics and mineral from biological activity. Then horizon B kay sediments with minerals dissolved from above. So horizon C is mostly unweathered bedrock. So sa soil horizon, so as soil develops over time, horizon form a soil profile. So most soil profiles cover the earth as two main layers, the topsoil and the subsoil. So in horizon A, it consists of humus, which is rich in topsoil, humus-rich topsoil where nutrients, organic matter, and biological activity are highest. So usually kay ang horizon A is the darker portion of the soil. And we have the horizon B, the subsoil or the clay-rich soil. So this horizon is often less fertile than the type soil but hold most moisture. It generally has a lighter color and less biological activity than the A horizon. Texture may be heavier than the A horizon too. So in C horizon, we have the underlying weathered rock from which the A and B horizon form. So we have here the example picture. So kaning darker color kay kani ang A horizon, and the um brownish or lighter color kay ang kuan ang darker color kay the A horizon. Ang lighter color kay ang B horizon. And we have the unweathered bedrock, which is the C horizon. So the properties of horizon are used to distinguish between soils and determine the land use potential. So we have the development. We have the three stages. We have the stage 1, stage 2, and stage 3. So soil develops through a process involving weathering, fracturing, and comminution of rock into mineral soil particles. So these processes evolve at varying speeds depending on the intensity of the factors that are brought to bear. But soil is far more than a mere mixture of exclusively mineral particles of varying size. So we have the stage 1. It is the mostly, ito yung mga unweathered bedrock. Kung sa soil horizon pa kay the horizon C, and the stage 2, dire ma-develop ang mga ang top soil by the biological activity, or we call it the subsoil. And we have the stage 3. It is the mature, thick, and well developed soil horizons. So mahitabo ang mga ang mga biological activity sa earth. So diri motubo ang mga plants, and diri magpuyo ang atong mga small animals like worms or some kinds of insects that live on the land. So si soil kay before ma-develop na ay mag-control sa iyang formation. We have the parent material, the the climate, the topography, the organism, and the time. So we have the parent material, the climate. So climate, soils develop because of the weathering of materials on Earth's surface, including the mechanical breakup of rocks and the chemical weathering of materials. So, temperature affects the rate of weathering and organic decomposition. With a colder and drier climate, these processes can be slow, but with heat and moisture, they are relatively rapid. rainfall dissolves some of the soil materials and holds others in suspension. The water carries or leaches these materials down through the soils. Over time, this process can change the soil, making it less fertile. So sa ato kay laman ta sa uh, cold and hot climate kay we are in the tropical region, paspas kaayong ma-develop ang soils diri kay tungod sa atong climate. So see this example, we have the dry climate. Ay, sorry. We have the dry climate. Um, sa iyahang horizon A kay drama hitabo ang it consists of humus and rich soil, and in the horizon B we have the calcium carbonate pellets and noodles nodules precipitated, and this horizon C is the sandstone or the bedrock. Then in wet climate, we have the nipis ra kaayo ang iyahang topsoil because of the siguro tungod sa rain, so mawash away ang mga soils, mawash away ang iyahang topsoil. So it has thin or no humus, and it has thick masses of insoluble iron and aluminum oxide. Occasionally, it is occasional quartz. Then we have the ang iyahang bedrock kay the mafic igneous bedrock. Now we have the parent materials. So these include all different types of bedrock and any type of unconsolidated sediments, such as glacial deposits and stream deposits. Soil minerals from the basis of soil, they are produced from rocks. So through the process of weathering and natural erosion. So water, wind, temperature change, gravity, chemical interaction, living organism, and pressure differences all help break down parent material. So, so ang types of parent materials and conditions under which they break down can influence the properties of the soil form. For example, soil formed from granite are often sandy and infertile, whereas um, the basalt under most conditions break down to form fertile clay soils. Next is we have the topography. So topography, soil can only develop where surface materials remain in place and are not frequently moved away by mass wasting. Soils cannot develop where the rate of soil formation is less than the rate of erosion. Steep slopes tend to have little or no soils. So the shape, length, and grade of a slope affects drainage. The aspect of a slope determines the type of be- excuse me. The aspect of a slope determines the type of vegetation and indicates the amount of rainfall received. So this factor changes the way soil form. So in topography kay soil materials are progressively moved within the natural landscape by the action of gravity, water, or wind. So the soil left on steep hills are usually shallower as are usually shallower. Excuse me. Next is we have the organism. So soil formation is influenced by organisms such as plants or microorganisms such as bacteria or fungi. And the burrowing insects are the animals and the humans. So as soil forms, plants begin to grow in it, the plants mature, die, and new ones take their place. So their leaves and roots are added to the soil. So ma-decompose ang for example ana kay ang plants when they die ma-decompose iyahang let's say for example iyahang branch or ang iyahang leaves. So ma-add gyapon siya sa soil formation. And of course, we have the microorganism. They can contribute to the formation of the soil. So animals that eat plants under waste and are eventually added and eventually their bodies are added to the soil. So this begins to change the soil. Bacteria, fungi, worms, and other barriers break down plant litter and animal waste and remains to eventually become organic matter. So this may take the form of peat, humus, or charcoal. So peat is the surface organic layer of a soil that consists of partially decomposed organic matter derived mostly from plant material. For example, ana kay mga kanang mga na-accumulate under the condition of water logging and the oxygen deficiency, the high acidity or and nutrient deficiency. On the other hand, the humus is the organic material in soil. So humus is composed of microorganisms, dead or alive on undecaying plants. And the charcoal, it increases the soil's ability to hold on to plant nutrients and beneficial soil microbes by slowing or reducing the leaching of nutrients by rain or watering. Now we go to the last factors that controls the soil formation. We have the time. Of course, the time very important because even under ideal conditions, soil takes thousands of years to develop. So, hunahuna gani ka ng mga permi gaunlan nga area kay permi ma-wash away ang soil. So, ang soil sa ilahang region kay dili good siya, let's say, fertile. Kaya ang topsoil kay permi ma-wash out. And it cannot, ang subsoil, kay ang mahimo ng topsoil. So, it cannot, kung paspas ang ulan, then dugay ma-form ang soil. Kung paspas ma-wash away ang soil, dugay man ma-form ang soil. So, ang result ana kay ang iyahang soil property kay dili fertile, or let's say dili good siya prone sa vegetation. So that's it. So unsa ganitong mga factors that control soil formation? What are those 5 factors? Anybody? Hello? Napa mo dira? Basi nakatulog na mo ta.
Kuan, ma'am. Earth, material, climate, time, organism, and topography.
Very good. So that's it. That's all for today. Any question? Or nasabtan ba tanan? Or naabay nasabtan? Sorry, good class kay. I'm not feeling well. Excuse me. So that's all for today. You may now go. Kung nasabtan ba gyud? Wala nag-good question?
Wala, ma'am.
Wala naman.
Okay, so you may now go. Can go now.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye, ma'am.
Thank you, teacher.
Thank you, ma'am.